Good morning. It is the morning of Thursday, March 3rd, and I'm going to be doing a really quick drive from my house here in Northeast Minneapolis to my wife's work in Columbia Heights, Minnesota. Since it's such a short trip, it's only 2.5 miles, just under each way. I'll be recording both legs, but just before we get started here, there are two parts of this first leg of the trip where the car will do something that it shouldn't. At least that's what it's done in every other FSD Beta 10.x build so far. There's one intersection, no matter what, if the light's green, whatever, it will try to come to a complete stop, or at least slow down significantly where I have to add throttle. So we're going to make sure that issue is still there, which I anticipate it to be, because I believe it to be a mapping related issue. And unfortunately, it was not corrected in the recent navigation data update. And then there is something where the car will supposed to take a left turn into my wife's work's parking lot, but for whatever reason, the car will try to enter a turn lane 2 intersections prior on the route for whatever reason. It doesn't seem to indicate it on the navigation on the screen here, but it seems to always want to do that. So those are the two issues we're really going to look to see if they're still there or not in 10.10.2, which is what my car is running right now. But yeah, enough talking. Let's get started and go for a drive here. All right, so we're off to a bad start already here. The car wanted to make a left turn. So, you know what's funny is I haven't had this issue, in prior builds of FSD Beta 10.x. So, but so far here, two of the, I think three, this is the third drive I've recorded now, so 2 out of the 3, unfortunately, we've seen failures where the car just, whatever reason, bugs out and won't make the right turn coming out of my driveway. So anyways, obviously we disengaged there, so that should report, but I just reported that snapshot as well. But yeah, not sure why it's struggling so much. As you can see at the end of my driveway there, it's, I've shoveled it on both sides so you can see the ground, so it shouldn't have any issue there. But for whatever reason, it seems to get turned around pretty quickly here. So, and then again, as with every FSD Beta drive that starts from my house, the speed limit's incorrect here. I've reported that to Tesla multiple times, and it remains. I've tried to take matters into my own hands by updating the local OpenStreetMap data, which looked to be incorrect. So I'm guessing Tesla is using that as one of their data sources. It just doesn't seem to be propagating down to the car. So I'm not sure at what frequency that does get pushed, but I'm hopeful that will get fixed here eventually. All right, so we both look clear on both sides here. So the car did a great job there of inching forward, waiting, checking, and moving forward. So did exactly what I wanted to do there, so that's good. So one thing that's kind of frustrating there, and I will report it, the car should be signaling before it gets over, right? Because if somebody's behind me and they're looking to get over as well, and the car just cuts over without a warning, it's going to startle your average human driver. So just to be a good steward of the road and to follow the traffic laws, of course, the car should be signaling before it makes its turn. And I've noticed that some of these shorter intersections where the turn lanes are fairly short, the car will make a turn before it flips the turn signal on, and it kind of should be the opposite way around, in my opinion. All right, that was on me there. I accidentally disengaged as it got kind of close to the curb there, but it wasn't going to run it over. I just was being overly cautious. So that disengagement's on me. All right, you can kind of see here what happens when you, unfortunately, get too much, liquid or whatever over the cameras. It kind of bugged out there. So, but my windshield was kind of dirty. So, again, another disengagement that's on me here. Let's see if it comes back. I'm gonna have to clean my washer, my windshield here again to get it to come back. All right, looks like we're pretty close to working again here. All right, so it took a little bit. FSD's back though, so we should be good now. But yeah, as you can see, my windshield's pretty dirty, so it's hard to keep a car clean up in Minnesota this time of year with all the snow melting and all the mud and stuff everywhere. So try my best, but sometimes it's not enough. This intersection up here is the one that seems to always be a problem, so let's see if the car does slow down. We are following some cars here, so and there you can see again, the car is literally trying to come to a complete stop here. You know, we got traffic coming up behind us, so I'm just going to press the throttle there, but every single time the car refuses to proceed on green at the intersection. And there's about a handful of other spots around the Twin Cities that are the same thing. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why the car is stopping. There's nothing indicated on the UI that says why. So again, if Tesla would add, you know, a reason for stopping message, you know, on green or whatever, that would be super helpful in trying to troubleshoot what the heck's going on here. But again, I have to think it's map data. That's the only thing I can kind of go off of based upon the data we have in front of us. But again, kind of frustrating. So we did actually not have that same issue as we had before, so I'm going to actually cancel this. My wife's work's just right up here to the left, so and I'm going to be going to Starbucks up the road here, but I just wanted to prove that the car wasn't going to try to go in the turn lane that's like has two intersections previous before this one, and the car did not do that this time around. So I want to say that issue is fixed in 10.10.2, which is great. I'll be doing this route again to confirm later, probably later this week or next week. But good to see at least one of the issues that have been there for a while to be fixed. So I'm not sure if that was navigation related or what, but the car would just try to turn at an intersection too early when it should be turning left at this one here. So anyways, I will start the video on the return leg, and we will go from there. See you then. All right, and then now we're going to get started here with the return leg back to my house. So again, a really short drive. This return leg is usually uneventful, but there is at least one left turn and then a spot here at the beginning where the car has always had some problems where it wants to kind of get in and take a right and thinks the shoulder is a lane. So we'll see if that issue is still here, but without further ado here, I'm going to engage FSD here and go from there. We have some cars fast approaching from our left here, so we might be waiting here for a bit. I'm going to actually nudge it out here and see if I can get it to go here. We have a little bit of a gap. So as you can see here, the car did try to use that right lane again, but it did figure it out. So that's again new behavior from what I've seen in previous FSD builds. I think the transition, or at least the abrupt input on the wheel there would have been less abrupt had I not been trying to nudge the car with the accelerator. So again, I'll have to try this route again with just letting the car do its thing. I'm guessing it'd be much smoother, but it did figure it out, which it never did before. I would always have to disengage that very same spot and then, get the car back over to the, proper lane. So good to see another issue. So again, so far on this whole trip, there and back, we've seen two issues now not crop back up in 10.10.2. So I want to say we've gotten two fixed. So good to see. Unfortunately, this intersection here going the opposite way is still a problem. So we'll have to figure out what's going on there and keep reporting that to Tesla, and hopefully they fix it in a future release here. But again, some progress to be had, so that's good to see. All right, and this is our last left turn on this route here, our pretty much one and only left turn. It's really not been a problem for FSD in the past. The only time it's ever really tricky is with oncoming traffic. It is sometimes hard to see because there's turning cars in front of us that are in the oncoming lane. So I'm going to nudge the car here and just kind of tell it to go because I don't want to wait another light cycle there. But yeah, car did a great job. Again, that continues to be a pretty easy intersection for FSD. It did, in early builds, stop short of the actual turn, like where the crosswalk is. I think it was because of an adjacent lane that kind of was causing issues for it. That no longer seems to be the case, so that's good to see again that issue remains to be or continues to be fixed and resolved in the newer builds. So no regressions. And then again, as soon as I turn onto my road here, I obviously just use the scroll wheel on the right here to lower the speed to a safer speed, because the speed limit is really 20, not 30. So. And then I think if you actually did 30 miles an hour over those railroad tracks there, you probably would get air. So we definitely don't want that. Airborne Teslas are usually a bad thing. The car will hesitate here a little bit, and we have somebody behind us, so it's obviously clear I'm just going to press the throttle. So, and that's it for this drive. Again, short and sweet. Unfortunately, my GoPro cut out there, but you know, again, this route was short and sweet. 2 of the 3 issues that we usually experience on it seem to be resolved. So, you know, that's good to see. It's good to see, again, some forward progress with FSD Beta 10.10.2. I'm hopeful that we'll see some of the other more annoying issues that I see more on my test loop that I do around Northeast Minneapolis. There's a bunch on there that appear to be map related. So again, I keep reporting those to Tesla, the autopilot team, and hopefully they'll get resolved here. I'm hopeful that in version 11, you know, this car will be able to drive itself throughout my entire test loop without really any intervention. Maybe a couple throttle inputs here and there, but that's it. That's my hope. And based on the progress we're seeing, I think that's realistic. And if not in the immediate builds of version 11, I think soon thereafter. So maybe a month or so after they, you know, iterate upon version 11.0, we'll see that. So again, it's promising to see the progress firsthand. Again, there's still some room for growth, but you know, Tesla continues to chip away at some of these edge cases, so it's really good to see. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.